Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Smackdown review. What an uneventful show. All these mental midgets out there saying that SmackDown is better than Raw. I said this in my Raw review. Who the fuck you kidding? It's the same show, just shorter. But can we admit that at least? That it's not that this show is of better quality, it's the same shitty quality. You're just getting a shorter show. And when shit is shorter, it's not as painful, and that's about it. But this show, it's not good. Cena comes back. It was great to see Cena finally. Somebody with passion and charisma finally come. There's a few guys, but let's be perfectly honest. Without Cena, and this is for years and years, people were like, "Oh, I can't wait to see a show where Cena's not there." And always when Cena was not there on the shows, it would always be the most boring show. And that was clearly evident when Cena came out. It felt like a real star was there, especially on the 4th of July. A good promo from Cena reestablishing himself, saying he's still here full time, putting the rumors to rest that he's about to retire. He says that he's going to give it his all. If his time is indeed limited, then he's going to give it his all. Rusev finally returns out of nowhere, and I don't know about you guys, but didn't Rusev to me seem like he was like half asleep during this promo? Like he just like rolled out of bed and decided to just come and challenge Cena here. And it wasn't even like Rusev was even threatening here. He wasn't even yelling at Cena. It just seemed like there wasn't any conviction in his voice or anything. Like seriously, it looked like the motherfucker just got out of bed. It was tired. It was a lazy retort to Cena. Cena says, "Let's have a good old fashioned flag match." He says, "Okay, but not today." All right, and that's it. After that, once again, it just ends. So Cena returns. We see him for the first 10 minutes, and they never go back to Cena. Nothing with Rusev. We've been waiting for Rusev for months. But I don't really care that much about Rusev. You guys have been caring about him, but Cena, this guy, we were waiting for him to come back. And I got to be perfectly honest, I don't even like how they're treating Cena here. This is their big star. He should be in more than one segment for the night. I mean, we waited months for this guy to come back. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania. Finally comes back, and this is all we get. No match, no nothing. Just this segment with a half asleep Rusev. AJ Styles defeated Chad Gable. Does anybody care about this fake Kurt Angle? We already have Kurt Angle there. There's rumors that Kurt Angle might wrestle again at SummerSlam. So we don't need a fake Kurt Angle. Everybody was going crazy over American Alpha. This is like the poor man's Kurt Angle. So we really don't need him anymore. Everyone's chanting, "This is awesome." Oh God. I said that at least the hardcore fans didn't seem as present as they do on Raw when it comes to SmackDown. But I guess we could be wrong every now and again. You're going to have some of those guys get in there, and "This is awesome" chants were there. I like the segment with Daniel Bryan suspending James Ellsworth. Ellsworth is entertaining. I didn't like this guy. I sure as hell didn't like seeing the visual of Ellsworth pinning AJ Styles last year. That's when I said I had to take a break from this product. You guys saw once I saw Ellsworth pinning Styles, even though it was Ambrose helping Ellsworth get the pin. I was just like I couldn't take that anymore. I was like, oh my God, wrestling is on a downward spiral. When you've got Ellsworth pinning him to the mat, I mean, that was almost as bad as seeing Hornswoggle eliminating Sheamus in a battle royal. You just are like, what the fuck is going on here? So now he's suspended for 30 days, getting fined $10,000. Carmella was rushing him out of the ring. Carmella is a true star. She's like the Alexa Bliss of SmackDown. as far as things go. And does anybody notice that Charlotte is like forgotten? She wasn't even on this show at all. She's such a big star. This is Flair's daughter. They removed her off of Raw. They were putting her in big segments on Raw, and now she's an afterthought. It's like now that she's not in the feud with Sasha Banks, they have no idea what to do with her. She's got all the talent in the world, all the mic skills in the world, but they can't figure out what to do with Charlotte. It's pretty sad. Naomi defeated Lana for the third time. Tamina came out. She told Lana to get up. It looks to me like they're going to have a storyline with Tamina training Lana. So is this going to be another bodyguard thing? Is it going to be the same thing with, AJ Lee? That's what I'm getting from this, at least. Is it going to be a repeat of what we saw a couple of years ago? It could be interesting, but, what is this with Tamina always being relegated to the role of a bodyguard? She's a bodyguard, then she wants to be a wrestler. Now it's back to being a bodyguard. This is Jimmy Snuka's daughter. They can't do anything with her lineage. They can't like pair her up with the Usos or something. Do something with this girl. I really don't know what they're planning on doing with Tamina, but now they're just gonna pair her up with Lana. Could be interesting. They're trying something here with Tamina, so it's not like she's just, afloat in the sea of WWE women. Like I said, they have so many girls now, they don't even know what the fuck to do with any of them. Um, then you had Kenzo Suzuki cutting the promo backstage, and you had Baron Corbin ambush him. What is this every single time Corbin's ambushing people during interviews? Is this the only thing they could think to do with them? I'm all for more backstage activity, but for God's sakes, I feel like once you've seen one Baron Corbin backstage, attack, you've seen them all. He does this to Kalisto. He's like the master of the interrupting a backstage interview. I mean, my God, how many times are they gonna pull the same shtick? It's not only predictable but tiresome, and he's beating them up in the same way. Except Kenzo didn't get his ass kicked as much. Um, you know, um, but it's the same thing. Like I'm saying, it's almost like on repeat. Just it's basically like they just cropped out the wrestler from last week and put him in that place. Then you had a rap battle with Wall E. I've never heard of this guy before. I'm not a big rap fan, so I don't know. This rap battle was okay. It was between New Day and the Usos. Some of the lines are okay, but once again, the verbiage, it just felt very tame. They're all like, oh, and everything, and I'm just like, it's like nothing too bad. I always said this with the verbiage. The insults are like nobody would get insulted by this shit in real life. Compared to the insults we heard years ago, not just in the Attitude Era, but the Ruthless Aggression Era, even the insults during the 80s, during the Hulkamania and the Rock and Wrestling Era. The insults actually sounded like insults. Here it's like stuff you'd hear on the playground. If nowadays, if you go on the playground, you'll probably hear kids cursing and screaming at each other, probably sounding tougher than these wrestlers. That's why it's a joke. So this rap battle, compared to the rap battles we had with John Cena, this shit is like pales in comparison. So having this rap battle, especially with the goofball entourages, it feels very forced. It's like, where did all these people come from anyway? They're trying to go for an 8 Mile feel, I suppose, with the scenery, with having people backing them up, but it's a bit silly to say the least, and it feels very, contrived and put together, and it doesn't feel natural. It feels too much like a segment and not just like naturally flowing with the show. Um, then you had Orton and Aiden English. Orton gets disqualified, beating down. Like, what's the point of even doing this with Aiden English? What's the point of bringing out this jobber? They fire this guy's partner. They break up the Vaudevillains, which was actually original. So the only thing they've got to go with Aiden English is the singing thing, which is not going to get this guy over anytime just by doing this. That's not going to get the guy over. It's pretty apparent that that gimmick is not enough to get him over. And if they think it is, that's pretty fucking lazy. Having Orton beat him up here doesn't really do anything for Orton. Doesn't do anything for Aiden. There's nothing there. Um, and then you had Jinder come out on the ramp, and like the way how this ends with just Jinder was cutting a halfway decent promo, but Orton just says, oh, you're a jackass, and it ends. Like, once again, I got to go back to what I said in the rap battle. These insults, they're not enough, and that to just cap off, like, that's the bottom line of the promo. It's not strong enough. It's weak verbiage. Who's ever writing this has no idea how to write for characters, has no business writing dialogue. Is this McMahon? Is this whoever is, second in command, a creative? Who's coming up with the verbiage? Because it's pretty sad and pathetic. This is not how people talk in real life. And I know this is wrestling, but they used to talk like real people. Now they just talk like caricatures of fucking real life people. They talk like even cartoon characters. You watch animated shows and you hear more realistic dialogue. So that's even a bad comparison. Backstage, you had Tyler Breeze disguised as a girl. He's interviewing 10, yeah, your favorite, Ty Dillinger. So Ty Dillinger's, I'm just watching this guy, and Breeze is being entertaining. Fandango's in the background, getting closer to Ty Dillinger as he's cutting the promo. He's disguised as a construction worker, and here's two guys with a lot of charisma, and Ty Dillinger. I mean, my God, what is it that you people see in this guy? No promo skills, an average run of the mill look. Once again, promoting guys and asking people to be pushed that look like average Joes. People walking down the street. I mean, whatever happened to that celebrity look? People getting pushes and they're popular because they look extraordinary. Not in the case of people like Ty Dillinger. As I said, he was on my list of overrated wrestlers, and definitely that's the case here. Backstage, again, you had Mike Kanellis and Maria, the first ever cup gimmick. They still haven't done anything. They take these guys, they get their contracts, and they haven't done fucking anything with them. Uh, what are they planning to do with Mike Bennett here? Oh, excuse me, Mike Kanellis. Sami Zayn was stretching backstage. He bumps into a pipe, and it interrupts the promo. Whoa, what a segment there, right? So I understand that Zayn is like in the wrong place at the right, at the wrong time. He like goofed up again last time. He interrupted them. He had to come out for his match during their little promo. Um, how is anybody supposed to get behind these characters? We don't even know what their characters are supposed to be, and they've already been there for like a month already. One of the shows they don't even show up for. So it's like, how is anybody supposed to, connect with these characters? We're wasting time already. We've seen these people and they've done absolutely nothing. Are we going to get the ball rolling with these characters, or are we just going to continue doing these stupid, worthless segments with them? Then you had the big battle royals. AJ Styles ends up winning it. Kevin Owens then runs in at the end, and it runs away like the chicken shit heel. Every single time it's like really the same thing, and now we're gonna have to see AJ and Owens again, like we haven't seen this match 10 million times already. I mean, seriously, these shows are like they repeat the same formula, repeat the same matches. I mean, my God, you have some entertaining stuff. The Breeze Dongo stuff is entertaining. You've got people like Carmella and Ellsworth that are entertaining. Daniel Bryan was entertaining as well as he was suspending Ellsworth. But aside from that, I mean, you've got still a lot of annoying habits and still the same. It's the same show as Raw, just with different wrestlers on it. It's lame. And they seem like they rush through things a lot because they have a lot less time. 2 hours is more than enough time. That's the same amount of time it used to be for Raw. But like the whole thing with Orton and Jinder Mahal, Jinder Mahal's your champion, and that's the best you've got is the challenger calling him a jackass, and then it just ends, and that's it. Mahal just gets an angry face, and I said I praised his facial expressions and everything, but like this is a very very poorly run feud between Orton and Jinder Mahal. Like I said, Orton came up with the idea that he would fly to India and he would RKO every member of his family. Remember, I said a couple of weeks ago, I says, okay, well, why don't they do it? Why don't they film a segment that's a little bit over the top and crazy just to make it stand out? Instead, we're having these little promos where a couple of weeks they get into little altercations, but you never feel like Mahal is cutting like champion quality promos and he's not involved. In fact, because they're never in the last segment. Last week they were when they announced the Punjabi prison. I think it was, right? Wasn't it in the main event segment at least? But they throw Mahal in the middle of the show here. Once again, it doesn't even feel like he's a world champion. Why is the U.S. title the focus? Why is Kevin Owens the focus at the end of the show when the go home concept should be the champion? Your champion is the most important guy on the show. So why is he relegated to the middle of the show? But the secondary champion, the U.S. champion, why is he portrayed as being more important, being the last thing you see before the show goes off the air, which is the final thought, the thing that's going to leave you thinking about this show is the last thing that you see most of the time. And so, why would they do that to Mahal? Why did they give him the belt just to do that to him? And they do this, also with the Universal title. Like, it's not the last thing you see. Was Joe and Lesnar the last thing you saw on Raw on the go home show? No, it wasn't. What was the last thing you saw? It was Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. But that's not even the main event at Great Balls of Fire. So I don't really understand the structure or any of these shows. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to give a boost to the U.S. title just like they did to the women's on Raw last week? Are they trying by putting these different things in? I think that's what they're trying to do, but it doesn't look good. This is why you shouldn't mess with classic formulas. It's not the right way to go about things. Keep to tradition, keep going about it the right way, and stop trying to change things about the show. There you go, motherfuckers. I'm sick and tired of complaining about this shit. My God, it's the same exact problems as Raw, just a shorter show. Anyway, until next time, motherfucker. All right.